I would have used a lot of that stuff. See, that's where I'm
That's
different.
where we're
See?
different, yes.
No, that's where I'm different because I'm loosey goosey. What are people tuning in expecting to hear something that makes sense, something that's been worked on, something that's been tendered to?
No, they want to hear 4 minutes of troubleshooting.
For a second there, you were so convincing that I thought you were saying the truth. They don't want to hear that.
That's right. They want to hear this.
Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
Good morning. Okay, so anyway, I was saying before I got rudely, from now on, I have to check in you know what? When we used to do this in the old days, and I'm going to give a little peer into, I'm going to give a little, people who are listening, they get a little peer now into what it's like on a day-to-day. I totally forgot this is good for you. I totally forgot what my point was.
I don't think you had one, is my suspicion.
I've been noticing this over the last few weeks, and it's very, very delightful to me that I see you very dry, very relaxed.
Yeah, it's the opioids.
The opioids by this point would be making you want to crawl out of your body at this point.
Yeah.
Unless you have a good tolerance.
No, there's still a low. I'm still using a low level. Like I had one at like 4 a.m.
Okay, well then I think that you're not getting the right thing, and I definitely should take it to my lab guy. Just give me 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20, or 30 samples that the lab guy can look at. 40 samples.
If they weren't dishing them out to me like they were made of gold, then I would.
Oh, I know they are. No, you know what? I'm better off not having not having peered into a happier world for 5 minutes.
Yeah. It hasn't. I have not once during this experience had any kind of buzz from these pills.
Is that true? And not normally you do, right? If you're not sick.
I usually, if I'm not sick, I don't generally take them, but,
What?
I know.
What's the matter with you?
It's crazy talk.
What are you, not a man or something?
But no, it takes a higher dose than what I'm taking to make me, loopy.
To make daddy want to play with mommy.
It's given me a certain calmness apparently. And I heard in the first couple of weeks, I could kind of hear just because I was taking heavier doses then.
It's so funny because what I thought it was I thought it was a voice that you had perfected where, you mock everything I say, but you kind of sound. I didn't mean literally.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It still makes me laugh every time. It never doesn't work. Even when you're the butt of that one. Doesn't matter. Now I'm getting on my own nerves. Shut up. But then I noticed that you have developed a certain the understory. Well, that's not the right thing. The undercurrent.
The subtext,
I'm a moron.
I think, is what you're. I think subtext is the understory, as you call it.
Oh, God. You see, if I would just celebrate my stupidity instead of fighting it so much. Yeah. So I don't know what I was saying with that, but
you're saying.
That you're delighted and charmed by how stupid I am, and you constantly so you are. When I'm making a ridiculous argument, you might even suggest. You're not going to engage in the discussion, not an argument. You're not going to engage in the discussion, but you'll tee me up for a couple of things on a story. Very delightfully.
I feel like I'm, if you were a paper airplane, I'd be that little gust of wind that keeps you afloat.
I feel less than every minute as the show goes along.
I just realized, there's two methods to that madness. One is you're funny, so I want to bring it out.
Especially when I'm trying to prove that I'm not stupid or something like that.
Always
Sometimes.
hilarious. Always funny. And two, I know as soon as I interject, it's over because you're going to forget what you were saying.
That's no different than if I was in full-on dementia, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Except it's more entertaining.
Which, dementia or this?
I was thinking me, as I'm going through dementia, I'm hoping that I kill. It's Wednesday. Hey, Josh, What day is today? I'm kidding. I know it's Wednesday. What day is today? When does he not know what it is?
All right.
That's going to be the thing.
Yeah.
He's a kidder, doctor.
By the way, you know
we-
today's Monday, right?
When he was a comedian, he was kidding. And there's a guy with a clipboard. Yes, I understand that you're saying that he was very funny. They went-
One of the greats, it says here in his file.
Yeah, you have 2 or 3 people.
Oh, wait, this isn't his file. This is his bio.
I don't want to, first of all, I joke about it. I don't want to be in the home.
Right. Yes, we've covered that.
And I don't want to go by demon. Don't want to die uneasy. As the guy, you know what? I think my problem was I learned to sing from David Clayton Thomas. And in retrospect, I don't think his versions of Spinning Wheel
Yeah.
or You Make Me So, that one was okay. But his version of the Billie Holiday classic, what song he sings?
Was it God Bless the Child?
Yeah, God bless a child who can. He does this. He goes, who can stand up and say, I've got my own avenue child. Gotta have it. I thought that guy was the greatest singer.
Yeah.
I was in my house going, why can't Kenny Loggins swing like this guy?
Kenny
Loggins wasn't around then.
at my wedding. I sang "You Make Me So Very Happy" to my wife as our.
Oh, and the David Clayton Thomas version.
Yes, very.
Because you can't sing.
You make me so very happy. I'm so glad you came into my life. And I played trumpet. I played trumpet too.
You know, I don't know if you're aware of it, but he belts it out. That guy.
Yeah, he belted out. Speaking of belting it out, it's Neil Diamond's birthday today. It's also Michael DeBar's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Michael DeBar.
Yeah.
And happy birthday, Neil Diamond.
Today!
Today! Oh, crackly, 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 crack. She's got a crackling and crackling now. Get it on. LA is home, but it ain't mine. New York's mine, but it's no longer current. Oh, God, I'm sad. Oh, God, I said. Who wrote this song? And even that I knew I could sing along. That could have been Neil Diamond if he even hit in the head.
Yes. He's in the home next to you.
Look, no one was talking to me. I got home the other day, right?
Yeah.
Nothing was talking to me. Not even the goddamn chair.
Wow.
Not even the chair.
Wow, that's some lonely shit.
I mean, what do you do then? People. That's how I got into comedy, not into the music. People, who's up with these people? People who need people. What is up with these people who need people? Come on, Josh. Get in there. The water's warm. It's hacky. Climb in. Give me a tongue kiss and let's do it.
My Jewish superstar fun medley.
I did tell you, and I always go back to Peter Marshall hosting a variety show in the summer with Hollywood Squares, and he was doing, it's the tippy, 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 tippy top. Yeah, the tippy, 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 tippy top. Oh, the tippy, 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 tippy top of the world. Come on. Do you don't think that made me happy as a kid in a way?
You know, that also, let me just say, that might be the best Peter Marshall impression in the world.
He also did this one. Body, yaddy, yaddy, yay. All I remember, the time to September. He was a crooner.
Was he?
Yeah.
Or was he a stylist?
No, I think he was a crooner before back when you could sing like, oh, mommy.
Wow.
Oh, ma.
I don't think
mommy.
that's crooning. I don't think that's crooning.
Oh, darling. Make a oh, mammy. Mammy. I call you mammy. I hope it's not taken away from the black community when I call you mammy. How can you call someone mammy with blackface and not get the living shit kicked out of him? Isn't he doing a black voice? Oh,
the Jewish immigrant version of a black voice. Yes.
Oh, why was he in blackface? He's not. It was Jewish.
Everyone was in blackface then, Andy. Even there were literally even black people wearing blackface.
And that's why it was so difficult. The makeup was even harder back then because you had to start with the base of blackface.
Yes.
I can give. Whoa, is this blackface spicy? Well, I can give you. I'm not doing a racial thing.
Well,
you would have done it.
Cajun Man is not a racial character.
No, it's not. It really is not.
It's a regional character.
It's a regional character because you're not doing the Robin Williams.
I'm just doing a regular voice. I'm just doing Cajun Man. That's all I'm doing. You know.
You're not doing that. You're not
to be confused with the Adam Sandler Cajun Man. It's a whole different thing. But
that's right.
He does it extra spicy. But that's not how I play things. It's just just regular Cajun Man. That's all it is.
Yeah, but it's part of his baby voice too, right?
It's from the same larynx.
You go to I'm Adam Sandler, and I have to bully Andy Kindler. But then I go back to doing the baby voice. For years, Andy Kindler was afraid I was gonna punch him in the face. Because I said I was going to punch him in. And then after years, I said to him, don't worry, I'm not going to punch you. The resolution was, don't worry, I'm not going to punch you in the face.
Well, yeah, that's a nice assurance.
And I actually, I always think of myself as a coward, which I think I am. But then
I assure you, Andy, someone would have jumped in and say, Adam, he's not worth it.
I had the wherewithal to say, I thought that was a long time ago. People were saying you shouldn't beat someone up because they're not worth it. If they're worth it, why would you want to beat them up?
No, I disagree.
No, you're saying
I think you're hearing
it's worth
it wrong.
the tussle.
Yes.
It's worth getting your hands dirty to kill this guy.
Exactly.
This is fun. We have a fun show. People don't say it's fun. We don't get increased listeners.
Right.
It's not, I'm doing air quotes. It's not going anywhere.
Fun stasis is what we're in.
Yeah. This show doesn't mean anything. It's not going to, who was the guy on Saturday Night Live who did was that the big guy who did that? Did he do that? Was Farley doing a lot of quotes?
I think Farley did a quote bit, yeah.
Because I sometimes realize I do it on stage, my own version of it. I hope he doesn't, he's not upset about it. Because the last thing I want is Chris Farley to be upset that I was doing anything that was similar to him.
All right.
Do you know him at all?
Making tweets about, I used to do that bit.
What pathetic. Other people have died and they look more they look more manly and together than me.
Yeah. Louie Anderson looked more manly than you, and he died.
That's very sad. Would you like to say anything about Louie? Because I would like to hear it if you would.
Yeah, I'm sad about it. I mean, we had our little business mishap, but that didn't really shape my entire feelings about him. He was.
I don't remember the exact nature of it, or is it not important?
It's really not important. It was just the funny part about it was that he sent me this snowy card that said, "Dear Josh, thanks for all the help. This concludes our working together, Louie." But it came with a check, so
yeah.
So the resolution occurred. It just, but I mean, he was the first comic I ever saw live. He was like, in terms of Minnesota pride, he was like second to Prince in the 80s.
Wow, that's amazing to think of.
And I was really excited when he when he got excited about me, when he saw me and wanted me to work for him and stuff. So. And he was like one of the reasons that there was a Minneapolis comedy scene, really.
He was kind of alternative. Not that he was alternative. All comedy was alternative before it got liquefied down by the 80s.
Well, but he was personal. He was personal.
He was personal. That's right.
Which is
what was called alternative by the 90s.
Yeah.
If you talked about yourself in any real way,
right.
That was personal.
Right. So, yes, he was ahead of that curve.
Yeah.
And he was a great fucking comic.
He was a brilliant comic.
If you look at Louie's best hour or two, it stacks up against anybody's best hour or two. Really, he was really great.
Did Did you do that show that he did when he hosted his show?
Huh?
He hosted a stand-up show.
No, I didn't.
Because I did, and it was. I mean, he was like everybody loved him. Everybody was like, he was what I imagine stand-up, kind of like a little bit like Gaffigan, but more mannered than him.
Yeah, but I think he saw his bread as buttered by the same people as butter Gaffigans,
Yeah.
I mean, Louie was like every level of celebrity during his career,
Give us a little, how like, what do you mean?
I mean, like at his height, even at his most recent height when he won an Emmy, for baskets, he's been really high, but he's also been like, very, B-list celebrity. He's been a game show host. He had his own sitcom. He's also been, he also did a high dive thing on a reality show, so it's like he like experienced all of show business.
When you just said this high dive thing on the reality show, like if I had done it, I would be castigated. But for him, I actually think it was like I didn't see it, but it sounds like something he overcame, a brave thing that I could never have done.
Yeah, and I think he, fancied himself is like too belittling a term, but I think he took pride in being a sort of totem for people,
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, dealing with weight issues and parent issues and,
And even jokes
he
like
never dealt with his sexuality very publicly at all, but.
Yeah. And we should say that he was in a time period where, especially if you were a man, it was almost impossible to come out if you were in show business.
Yeah,
or any
and
business.
I think him in particular, I think he felt because he was such a Minnesota, favorite son, and he like I said, he really felt like his bread was buttered from a very family audience. I think he really thought it would hurt him badly,
Yeah,
but he wasn't secretive about it among people who knew him really. He would make jokes and stuff, but it was interesting that he never chose to use that as one of the things he was in a leadership position on,
Yeah, and then when you add to that he was blackmailed, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know how long he paid that guy for, but can you imagine? I mean, it's amazing that he didn't have a heart attack. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying he had a lot of pressure on his life.
Yeah, and he had a lot of medical problems along the way too.
Yeah, I didn't know that from his. I know it was from his weight problem.
Yeah, he battled a lot of shit, and a gambling addiction too. That was pretty raging at one point, apparently.
Wow, but not drugs though, right?
As far as I know, not drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But he, and in some ways, I think from a representational point, I've talked about, Belushi and John Candy, and me being a fat kid, having that representation effect on me. Louie was one too who made it just feel like, oh, there's a place for someone like me in show business,
Yeah, I mean, he's probably one of the first people to do jokes about it's like, I'm Jewish, so I could argue that I didn't have to say I was Jewish, but then I wouldn't have a 3-hour block of hilarious bits.
Right.
But he couldn't.
You're the Bud Anderson of Jews.
Do you ever notice when you take helium, your voice goes higher? No, Bud. No. That's not that's not even close to a regular practice.
Yeah. You ever notice if you do it for an hour, you call it an hour of material?
Oh. Bud Anderson. Right? Wrong or right? I'm sorry. Right. Yeah, and how old was he? He was 69, 68?
Louie, I think, was 68.
Is there anybody my age still alive?
The ones who took care of themselves.
I'm alive.
I know. And look at the picture of health you are.
Well, I haven't had a soda, and I haven't had a sugared soda since ever. I mean, since I used to drink it all the time.
Right. That's good.
Well, what am I, a hero now? What do I want? An award?
I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. Is what I am.
Well, I am to the point now where I don't remember why I liked Coke, and I like the taste better of the diet. And I've done enough research for it to know that it's not going to hurt you unless you do 50 Diet Cokes a day. And I don't even think that could hurt you. Maybe it could.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably a lot of anything isn't good for you. So I would imagine a lot of NutraSweet.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many you're drinking a day, but I would say low levels of Diet Coke are perfectly safe.
Oh, I think, and I knew normally I would lie about this, but I'm not lying. I probably average a soda a day, one.
Yeah, I think that's a perfectly healthy integration.
Plus, I love coffee more,
Yeah.
so I tend to drink coffee more. This is so interesting. Do you think this is something that you'd want to write down, like in my diary, or future generations will want to know this?
Yeah, I think we should do this on. Oh, never mind. I lost it.
Hey, you should take a little jig around the apartment. It's the first time you lost it. What is it like not losing it?
I don't know.
How are you feeling in general without going into it? Just give me a general. I mean, you can go into. I don't care what you go into. I'm trying to protect your privacy. People can know everything about me.
Well, like I said, I'm happy to be the open book about the back thing. I just don't want to like share my numbers on the show.
Oh, right. Okay, I guess I was a little bit not. I guess I didn't understand that.
No, that was that was a reaction to when I said I had a blood pressure issue come up, and then you were like, "What medicine's on you? What's your numbers?"
Oh God! Stop! I can hear it. I can feel it.
that was what that was about.
The worst is that I get a lab coat on while I'm saying that,
Right.
and I look for my stethoscope.
Dr.
You know what I use a lot?
Dr. Blowhardy to the ER.
I use my tongue depressor a lot sexually.
Wow, that is depressing.
It is. Okay, you were saying something. Now I cut it.
Was I? I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I think you asked me how I was feeling, and we never.
How are you feeling?
Got to. I'm feeling better. It's still not eureka.
You went to the appointment, right?
It was a phone appointment last week. Everything is on track, apparently. But still way less. Like I'm not in pain in this moment.
That's good.
And I'm 7 hours off a painkiller, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But comes and goes. Still not walking great distances.
How long did he say before? Is it a he? The surgeon.
The surgeon is a he. The physician's assistant I spoke with is a she.
How long do they say normally it takes to heal from it?
They're talking. They've said. I've heard they've said 3 to 4 weeks and 4 to 6 weeks are the two numbers that I've seen, both in their literature and in talking to them.
That's good.
So, but as long as it keeps going the right direction, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's great that's over too.
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
it was a month ago today.
A month ago today.
Yeah.
Wow. What was that reaction? What am I, an idiot or just a moron?
It's kind of a lost month, though.
Yeah, because of New Year's, right?
It's just kind of because I've been in recoup mode.
Yeah. I think that we all. It looks like maybe I'm not going to say there could be an end to the pandemic.
No, you shouldn't say that.
I shouldn't say.
You'll look like a fool.
I did find out something. I don't know if I should. Yeah, I'll talk about it. What do I care? I mean, that's not bad. A friend of mine who I was in a band with for 3 years in college, maybe the greatest guitar player I've ever played with.
Yeah.
And at the time, I thought he was a god in every way. And then we had arguments and problems. But I had thought that he and everybody who went to school with me thought that he had died of a drug overdose.
Yeah.
He did not.
Wow.
And I just friended him on Facebook. And this guy, I mean, I can't. When I was telling Susan, I think it's hard to convey it when it's just going on for you that he was a person who I had such an intimate relationship with, and we were like a very popular college band, and I thought he was dead. And it also shows you the way before the internet that could happen a lot easier.
All right.
And he's had problems and everything, but he's doing well, and he lives in San Francisco. So I was just so thrilled.
He's like your personal Eddie Haskell.
Yeah, but I don't know if I've talked about it on the show that I had a lot of problems. We had a lot of problems, and where because I wasn't a great guitar player, and he made me know that very clearly.
Yeah.
And so I went through a lot.
Well, I'm glad
things.
you've rekindled this abusive relationship.
No, I don't think I have cured my. I really have cured my inability to. I know what you're going to say. Well, where's the music? But my inability to, my understanding of what singing is and all that stuff. I'm totally clear on what kept me back. Regardless of anything, of knowing where I would have gone with it, or I actually cannot see myself as a touring musician. Not that anyone's asking me, but stand-up comedy is way more fun than performing music. Certainly the way I was doing it. But in college, oh my God! I mean, that's all I thought about was being in a band and all this kind of stuff. And so when I think back on that relationship, that how much I really did not believe in anything of myself. I mean, I didn't know how much I hated myself. Maybe if I had known that, it might not have been good for me back then. It may have been too much.
Yeah, probably so.
I was still so much into, I think when I was like in my teens, I did not want, I was the last one of the kids who wanted to accept that my parents had issues.
Yeah. Well, you were also the youngest.
Is that the youngest normally does that, right?
I would think,
Well, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I was being the last to find out, but just really holding on.
Well, you'd be the last to understand
it.
Yes,
that's true. Because I'll never forget I think I've told this story a million times, at my graduation in college, my sister and my brother were like, I can't believe you're not upset that mom and dad are not here for your college graduation. And I was like so angry at them. I really was angry at them. I was like, come on. Why was I defending why was it so important for me to defend them? Because I didn't want to see that it was hurtful. I didn't want to feel the hurt of them. Yeah, they would rather, it's not even like that.
Okay, but here's an alternate theory.
Yeah.
Why was it so fucking important to your siblings to make you mad at your parents on your graduation day?
No, you are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what was going on. And it wasn't until I got into therapy that I realized what sibling rivalry was. I didn't know that it's normal. It's natural to have all these things.
Yeah.
It was the end of the world to me when my brother, the other thing was that I went away to college and my brother went away to college. My sister was in New York. So we had all the years of growing up together and fighting and getting along and all this kind of stuff.
All right.
But exactly what you're saying is right. Because I remember, I can think psychologically where I was standing off to one side, and I was really angry at them. But I was saying to myself, no, they're right. It's like I was like going back and forth in my own mind with everything.
Yeah.
No, but I knew that they, the point that you're making is exactly correct, because my parents were professional antique dealers, so they always went to these shows. That doesn't excuse that they used it as an excuse not to go to big events. But the point is that it wasn't as clean as your parents are scum and you're not seeing what your sister and brother are seeing. They were trying to, what's their game in that thing?
I think that's one of the rare times where I feel like you got totally shit sandwiched by your family. Where both sides were wrong to you.
Yeah, because my parents didn't show up.
Your parents should have been there, regardless
and
of
my sister and brother didn't need to be saying.
Right, exactly.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
you didn't need to be pointing out that
Yeah.
I was. Oh, where's mom and? Oh, look at that big crowd down there. Where are mom and dad? Oh, they're not here.
Right.
It's kind of like that thing. And we did when the family dynamic got 2-on-1, which it was, I think, for most of the time.
Yeah.
That was a big thing that was hard to separate from. But again, when you're going through it, part of going through it is that you don't know you're going through it in a way.
All right.
You don't go, I'm sibling rivalry time when you're 7.
Right. Right, exactly.
Yeah. Wow. It just seems what you're saying is either way, my graduation was a horrible time.
Yeah. But Mazel Tov.
Yeah, but here's the thing that played into it. It was during a time period where nobody went to proms that I knew of.
Yeah.
I knew my mom was angry at me, not angry at me, but she kept bringing up that I didn't apply for something that I still don't understand. That I was supposed to apply for some phi beta, whatever they call. I don't even know the Greek word. We didn't have
Magna
we
cum
didn't have
laude
Greek
or
letters in
summa
my
cum
college.
laude.
Yes, and she was whatever my grade point average was. It was that was it. So what would be the point of going? Anyway, it wouldn't have been something I would have done. I had no high school football team, no prom.
Right.
It was like we thought we were rebels. We really did think we were my generation thought they were the actual hippies.
Right.
Even though we were a couple of years behind. We were way behind.
You're carrying the flag, though.
I was carrying the flag. But I watched the Grateful Dead thing again. Long Strange Trip has been. Is anybody hasn't seen that and you like the Grateful Dead, it is unbelievable. It's really, really amazing. Well, just to see all of these footage. I also watched No Direction Home again, which I didn't realize I watched before.
Yeah.
And that is an amazing documentary. I don't know how you feel, but I love it.
Yeah. I liked it.
It's Dylan being real.
Yeah.
At times.
Right.
When Martin Scorsese asks him the question, he doesn't go, I was with a band in a traveling circus.
Right. No, that's where me and Dylan came from, I think.
Well, it's a good movie, Bob. It's a good movie. Why would you be upset with it? He's so great in that. You were so great in that movie, Bob. Shut up. Why don't you shut the fuck up?
Yeah. So glad I made it for you.
I can't talk to you, me and Bob Dylan, because in the bottom of my heart, I still want to meet you one day, but I know it's never going to happen because I've made no effort to make it happen. I think it's meant to be.
You know why?
Not happening.
You know why? Because
why is that?
You're a pussy. That's why.
What do you mean? You think I'm scared to call you up?
I think you're absolutely terrified.
I would be terrified. If I had to spend, I would be like, first of all, I spend the first 20 minutes trying to respond in kind. How's it going, Bob? Pretty good.
I would put you on the floor with my first withering look.
I wouldn't even
You'd be convulsing and foaming at your little Jew mouth.
Okay, easy. Oh, you're Jewish too.
This week.
Don't Donovan me, okay?
I'm sorry, did I hear something?
When Bob gave the business to Donovan, I know what you're doing. You're trying to give the business to me.
Can I get some fly? Can I get some fly spray? I keep hearing this fly buzzing around.
What century are you living in, Bob? Where you have fly spray
with one of those pump tanks?
You're not mean, Bob Dylan. You're old and in the way, Bob Dylan.
That's why I can be mean, Bob Dylan.
Were you steampunk? You might have been the first steampunk.
Shut up.
Shut up. Anyway, I recommend that documentary to anybody who's looking. It's really great.
Yeah.
A long, strange trip it's been. And what was the other one I said?
No Direction Home.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. I haven't seen, but I don't think I've still seen the whole Rolling Thunder show yet. Have you?
Did I see? Yeah, I did. No, that's where me and Bob Dylan came from, I think.
Ah.
I don't remember it. It was just a thing I did.
Wasn't that where he talked? Didn't he trace? It's the tour with Sam Shepard and all those people. The Rolling Thunder Review tour was what the movie was based on. And they have a lot of footage, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when on that tour is when my mom and dad, they didn't meet Bob Dylan, but they were sitting they were in the same hotel doing an antique show with Bob Dylan and the whole Rolling Thunder. They're probably a foot away from Sam Shepard.
What a great story that is. Did they ever use the same gas station as a famous person too?
No, but they were antique dealers, Bob, and they were out in Gaithersburg. Have you been to Gaithersburg? Do you remember being to Gaithersburg, Maryland? You know what your problem is, Bob? You don't care. You don't care about the little people anymore.
What?
delightful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, there were some great games this weekend. Oh my God. I don't know if you enjoyed them, but
that
Buffalo.
NFL put a good product on the field this weekend, didn't they?
I mean, there's no complaining. I mean, maybe one of the games wasn't good, but
No,
wow.
they were all good. They were all won in the last possession.
And how about that Josh Wilson? Is that his name?
No.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
They went back and forth. I like Rick Mahomes a lot. And I wanted to, always root for the Bills.
Patrick Mahomes.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Rick Mahomes. He's a nice fella. Good fella.
This has been Geezer Sports.
I do enjoy. I hate those commercials where Jake from State Farm.
Yeah.
But the ones with him make me laugh because he goes, Patrick Mahomes, what are you doing here? Like working in a Foot Locker or whatever?
Right.
Just a regular sneakerhead here for the free. I don't know what he said even. I'm just a regular sneakerhead.
All right.
He's funny.
Sure.
Would you say that Aaron Rodgers has a mullet at the end of the day? What is he rocking on the top of his anti-vax head?
I don't know. It's sort of an antibody updo.
Do you know Shailene Woodley broke up with him because he lost?
Really?
Yeah, last night.
Wow.
She didn't care
That's
about him
cold-blooded.
lying.
That's cold.
Well, she didn't care about him lying. And
that's colder than the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Oh my God. You would have been a Howard Cosell type if you wanted to be in the frozen tundra. And tonight in the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, Tito Fuentes and the Republic and Roberto Del Bison Peru. What do you think, Bob? What do you think of Andy Kindler's one? Not a good impression, not an excellent, but you might know it was Howard Cosell if he said, "Thank you, Howard Cosell."
Can I please get that fly spray? Please.
There's not fly spray, Bob. Can you update your references? You spent too long writing about,
Give me some Agent Orange then.
Why don't you write another song about Verlaine and Rambeau? You fucking idiot. This just can't happen anymore. I love Bob Dylan. I can't be yelling.
Andy Kindler is officially on Bob Dylan's shit list. Let the whole world know it.
I said you were the great.
Bob Dylan thinks Andy Kindler is shit.
I don't give a fuck. You know what? You're not the same. You changed.
I think you do.
You went so commercial. Why'd you go so commercial? I was even with you when you were born again.
Yeah, well, you went socialist apparently.
What do you mean? Because of Biden? Oh, we have fun here on the show, Josh. You gotta admit it. You gotta admit it.
Sure. I keep coming back for more.
Well, at these prices, in this economy, at this juncture, come up with 2 more of those.
No, I won't.
In this economy, I already said that one.
Yeah.
See, I'm not afraid to repeat the material.
Old Man of the Sea.
I'm very sad now. I'm getting sad because there'll be no more football.
Well, that's childish.
Yeah, but then you're going to start, you go, Andy, the Golden State Warriors are a triple header on TNT with the Brooklyn Nets are with the guy who won't get a shot. What is Kyrie Irving? He won't get a shot because of religious reasons?
No, because of personal belief.
What do you mean?
I can't elaborate on his logic because I don't agree with it.
Right, but you do defend. You can't say he doesn't have the right to do it, but he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God! So what's happening now if they get COVID during the postseason? I mean, are people like just playing with COVID now in the pros? Because the basketball.
Well, NFL is like stop testing. Like if
it's unbelievable because they know it's over now, right?
No, if their players are vaxxed, they aren't testing unless there's symptoms because they don't want to know. I
don't blame them at this point, right?
Yeah.
At least you're not lying about it like Aaron Rodgers or Djokovic. How about Djokovic? Novak, this young boy who's had a terrible youth, he'd like to meet you. Well, absolutely. I'd like to give somebody who doesn't know they're getting COVID a nice dose of it. I'm Novak Djokovic. I'm one of the world's greatest. I'm the world's greatest tennis player.
Let me wrap him in the warm aerosols of my love.
Please, welcome. Please, would you like to meet my respiratory problems? Okay, I'm done. I guess I'm done. That was good, though.
That was abrupt. It was like Djokovic pulled the plug on you there.
Yeah, you knew it. I knew it. Why go? Why can't when I stand again? I'll tell you something. I am so happy he's not there in Australia. It is so much of a better tennis game without Novak Djokovic. He's a big whiny baby in a sport where if you want to be a whiny baby, it's almost like it's open season on whining in tennis players.
Okay.
For every Roger
then let me
Federer,
ask you, how much longer are you going to whine about Djokovic?
Hey, Djokovic was wrong, and he should have. But don't you understand? He's bad. I'm good. I'm a good man. He's a bad man. Yes, he can play tennis and make me look like he has more talent in his little finger than I have my whole body. But I don't like him because he was Serbian and he abused Croatians. Well, maybe not personally. He got Vladi Divac mad. Don't get Vladi Divac mad. Doodah. Don't get Vladi Divac mad all the doodah day. Did you see the bit on Saturday Night Live about how it was pretty funny about how, there's nobody to play on the Sacramento Kings? Is that based on a true story?
Yeah, well, it was based on the fact that, there was all sorts of huge COVID outbreaks on a bunch of teams. And they allowed them to start signing people in 10-day hardship contracts.
This would be the greatest movie, right? I finally get a spot on a team. Because everyone goes down. It's like, what was the movie with Billy Crystal? It's like a ref.
I think Forget Paris.
Yeah, it's like that. Billy Crystal's back, and he's more relevant than ever. Did you say Forget Paris? I think I saw that movie. I had to watch it because I was doing a wraparound movie show about it.
Yeah.
Not that, but just in general.
Yeah.
And it was bad.
That's my recollection.
Name 3 horrible, well, I just forget it. Billy Crystal movies. But he actually has made decent movies, so. That game isn't that much fun.
He's done okay, that Billy Crystal.
He seems like the thing is, he seems like a guy who's very, nice guy, who's well adjusted, who has, happy where his particular place is in the show business pantheon. And he's not going to walk around with bitterness. He's not going to tell 2 people who saw him staring at the 60 occupancy in Giorgio Baldi with Roger Maris and Mickey Mantle's sons. And they were looking, hey, the number is 60. That's the name of whatever it was. The movie had the same number as the movie was. And we said, would you like to take a picture? No. That was my experience with, no, thank you.
Yeah.
When Susan offered to take a picture of them. And Susan never offers. It's too embarrassing. And just that whole, no, thank you. You got the whole smell of Billy Crystal right there. Because he was, I'm sure, on his best behavior with Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris's kids.
Yeah.
And then they're all hanging around the sign, pointing. Hey, would you like a picture? No. You can tell when someone looks over towards your area and has contempt. You can tell.
Sure.
I take it that everybody is contemptuous of me. But in this particular case, I think I was picking up on actual contempt.
Yeah, probably.
For himself.
Yeah. Sure. Isn't it always for themselves?
Yeah. And I'm perfect, but even when I get upset about things, I often find out later some of my own issues were involved.
I had my own little celebrity grudge come up this week. When Meatloaf died.
Oh, what happened? Oh, you had a problem? I had a problem with Meatloaf because he was on The Apprentice, but what was your problem with Meatloaf?
Well, I'll tell it to you because, and I'll throw in Frank Conniff here, because, he's hilarious.
Cool.
So I wrote, hey Frank, this is by memory, so I'm paraphrasing. Hey Frank, when Meatloaf died, did it bring up the same petty grudge in you that it did in me, or are you a better person? And he wrote back, we were at a film festival in Texas with Cinematic Titanic, and there was only one green room, and Meatloaf wanted to use it, so they made us leave. And I've never gotten over it. But Josh, what's this petty grudge you're talking about?
You know what? Of all the things that you would never forget, that's one thing you would never forget, because people who are in like we are in, like nearby show business, we see how bad behavior is.
Yeah.
You see it a lot.
Yeah, they were like we were at a Cineplex. And we were in one theater. Ours was sold out, by the way. Meatloaf was there for his doc, apparently. Not as sold out. But so all there was the manager's office to sit in. And so we were all in there, and the guy comes in and goes, Meatloaf would like to use the room. I'm like, well, yeah, please have him join us. No, no, he wants the room.
Well, how come they gave it to? What kind of clout did Meatloaf have?
One notch more than Cinematic Titanic.
It was a pissing.
And he had a bodyguard too.
Fuck Meatloaf. I'm sorry that he just died, but what an idiot that guy was.
You know who else was there that night was super drunk Rip Torn as well.
Oh, well, that could be. No, that's not going to be fun, because
it was fun. It was fun because
yeah.
You kind of want Rip Torn to be drunk at the party you're at. So.
I mean, the greatest story of all time is Rip Torn breaking into a bank by mistake.
That's one of them. Getting into a hammer fight with Norman Mailer is pretty good.
But other than that, Mrs. Burroughs, how did you enjoy the archery?
Right.
I don't know why that seemed funny as I said it. It seemed like I was clever. You know, when I'm clever, I'm not as clever as I think I am by half.
Well,
I hate when
at that point, you dropped details in that particular reference.
Yeah. Because we're in the business. Let's make one of these arguments. We don't laugh, right, Josh? Tell them about it. Yeah. We don't laugh.
Dead inside.
We're comedians.
Dead.
Like Seinfeld. He'll say, that was extremely funny.
Right.
You are very funny. Right. One of the best jokes I've heard. But you don't laugh because it's your business.
Right.
Deadly serious.
Completely.
I appreciate a good laugh. Why am I going over it again?
I don't know.
I must have something wrong with me.
You were trying to get a laugh out of me is the weird thing.
I'm trying to get right. But you know what? I feel very comfortable with how you're feeling towards me right now.
Are you? That's good.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So I don't care. Should you be someone who hangs up on me? Should you be someone? Doesn't matter to me, because we've got a solid.
See, but this is just passive aggression at this point.
Why are you so upset? Why are you so passively aggressive?
This is you saying, I want the show to be over, when you start bringing up how you're worried about.
No, I just realized I can't do that.
Because you're not going to add anything else after that point. It's just all going to be banter about this.
We are off to what I like to call a good start.
And how is that different from what other people would call a good start?
No, it was a bad start, is what I meant to say.
Oh,
A
okay.
good start would be, I go, hello. You go, how's it going? I go, boy, do I have a story to tell you. You go, what happened? I say, you're not going to believe it. Well, tell us. Well, you don't usually like to hear from me, Josh, because you told me I don't have a good, storytelling, feel. No, we want you to hear it. And ba. And then, boom. Oh, Andy. That story made me cry. I love you. Like that.
Ah. Okay, well, we'll shoot for that next time.
Okay, we'll shoot for it next time. That always sounds like when people say that, it sounds like they're blowing me off.
Nothing. I just got some ice cream.
You just got to your what?
I got some ice cream.
I don't believe that for 1 minute that you have ice cream.
Well, I didn't believe you either.
Well, my acting is better than yours. Well, your acting is better than mine. Look, if you can't, here's why I'm having a new program. If you can't afford a cameo by Andy Kindler, Andy Kindler will be willing to help. May be willing to help.
Cameo scholarships?
No, like the AstraZeneca will help.
All right.
If you can't afford Tremfya.
All right. Oh,
Hey.
you just hit a nerve with Tremfya for me.
Oh, what is Tremfya exactly?
I don't know.
Are you
I don't know, but the emerged Tremfyant makes me want.
That's been you don't think that's been keeping me up at night?
That makes me want to teleport somewhere and punch people, because that is they've just decided we're going to sell that as the word. We're going to trick your brain to thinking that that's triumphant.
Why don't they just call it Defia? And then they go.
We're just going to be 1,000% in on emerged Tremfyant with Tremfya.
Yeah. But if it was Defia, it'd be even better. Emerge Defiant. How did they get Defiant out of the name? Well, the drug's called Defia.
Exactly.
I know I didn't add much to it. Sometimes I think your point is I just covered that.
That was
that
was the definition of a lateral move.
I like the way you call it a lateral move as opposed to, it's more, you can more easily say it's just ruining the bit.
Yeah, it's nice. I was being nicer.
Right.
Yes.
I'm saying, you're nice to me one day. I take it too far. I take an hour. You give me a minute. I take an hour. Look, Josh, I'm not going to argue with you that this is funny when I'm doing my cloudy reasoning guy.
Yeah.
But my reasoning is clouded. I mean, I'm not used to getting up early like you are.
My silence is my rebuttal.
Please never say this to me again. Well played, sir.
I promise.
Well played.
I mean, it's never come up.
It's unbelievable the joy that you get when you grab another Andy's a fucking idiot joke. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like it must be bracing. Is it bracing?
Especially when it's like medium hanging fruit. It's good.
No, you can't. You have to go a long way to put the thing over me.
Yes.
I've always said that to people. Is there anything before we get into these incredible questions? And I was looking
have
at
an eye wool dispenser in your home.
A what?
An eye wool dispenser.
Oh, I lost it now. I don't even know. It sounds like words from a different language.
It's like pulling the wool over your eyes.
Oh. Do you have a dispenser for that?
Yes.
Now, why do they say? Is it because sheep would grow it too long?
It might be that, or it might be a poorly knitted sweater.
It's interesting. I almost think, what if I was born in the time where you had to like milk a horse or whatever the hell you had to do?
That's like a fraternity initiation prank. Go milk that horse.
Lift the cow. No, we lift the cow here. We don't tip them over. Come on, Andy. We're going to lift the cow. Are you sure it's not tip? What do they do when they tip a cow over?
They run and giggle.
Is the idea that the cow can't get back up?
The idea is that the cow is terribly surprised because it was asleep when you tipped it over.
What's the upside for the cow?
No upside for the cow whatsoever, which is why you'll get a farmer coming out shaking his fist at these teens.
First of all,
Perhaps
me and you.
brandishing a pitchfork.
First of all, if I was with you, I couldn't tip over a cow.
No.
All right?
Well, if you were with me, I wouldn't have pulled over.
Is that what they do? Is there people out for a drunken night spin? They come out of Denny's at 6 in the morning?
Yeah, it's not like, they're waiting for one to come through the neighborhood and fall asleep on their yard.
But it's not sexual, as I thought, right? It's
That was a lot of
sexual about it.
sarcasm for that question.
Do you
there
tip
is
the cow?
nothing. There is nothing sexual about it, as far as I can't speak to the thrill it gives someone.
In the country, is it ever considered funny if you tip a cow over a
Andy,
toddler?
I grew up in a city. I don't know the full.
You're closer to a farm than I am, though.
I was, in fact, that is true, but not so close that it was ever part of my route home.
I mean, when you grew up, you could smell the cow patties, right? Okay, let's stop this now because, I start talking about tipping cows. 10 minutes later, we're talking about sleeping with sheep.
Tip your cows, try the veal.
I'm not saying that I am better than other people, but I would have to get awfully lonely to start to sleep with the farm animals.
All right. Well, the question really becomes: is it a question of motive or opportunity?
What was I going to? I had something.
I don't know. I wish I could roll it back because I was so into my own little joke.
You can't roll it back. All right. I don't know what I meant by that.
Oh, enjoy that coffee.
You know what's amazing to me now is I am drinking.
Hold on one sec. Let me inject something. I bet it's not amazing. Okay, go ahead.
I didn't hear you because I'm stupid. All right. No. I'm drinking 6-month-old coffee.
Yeah.
Or 5-month-old coffee.
Yeah.
And
you
you
aren't clutching your stomach or anything?
I'm not. I am beginning to think that. Well, don't let any of my coffee people hear. 60% of it is how you brew it. How you brew it. I'm an excellent brewer. Not brewer. What's it called? Coffee maker. Coffee cup maker. What is it called?
Barista.
Yeah, tip your I'm not a barista, but I make a break.
You're a barista, I call it.
What does that mean?
Because you go, duh.
That could have been the lowest you've ever sung on the show. That was a dumb guy insulting an even dumber guy.
Yes, it was.
You're going to give me a complex after this whole podcast is over that I'm not as smart as other people are. No, sir. You are bright. BRITE, bright.
Yes.
Isn't it weird, though? This is off the topic, but don't you think that
was
people
there a topic?
think...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, there was another. But bright, they think bright is spelled wrong because it's spelled wrong as a sales tool.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
I wish I had more more vim and vigor to talk about this topic.
Yeah.
If I wish it stuck in my craw more.
It kind of sounds like it's just you in this subset of people.
Oh, so when the comics, and you were telling me you were one of the first people to say this in the 80s. You said, folks, am I the only guy? Am I the only guy, folks, or is it me, folks, or is it just me? You were the first one.
That was what I pioneered. Is it just me?
Is it just me? Oh, and then the other thing was
because before that, people were going, are there others here who feel?
Yes, but you cut to the chase.
That's right.
Am I the only one? Oh, Josh, I got to tell you, it's been quite a week.
Yeah.
At the end of every week, I say to myself, wow, haven't done anything for 5-6 years now. Right. 5-6 years.
And feeling good.
I backed out of my road week. I'm already not going to Austin.
That'd be Moon Tower?
Yeah, but I'm saying now, I just don't think I'm ready to go, and I have no idea what it's going to be like. If it was like it was now in April, I wouldn't go. So yeah. The other thing is, if we're going to go back on the road, I'm not saying you're going back on the road, but people like us, we're not going on a tour. I'm going for 1 week here in Schmagecki Town. I just think, how can you ever justify You went out, you made $2,000, you brought Omicron to your wife. It just is, there's no reason. I can't think of a reason. I don't see anything in the future. I might be done, Josh.
Well, I mean, that's your choice.
No, but I don't
I don't feel the same in the sense.
I know you don't.
In the sense that there are comics who just plain have to make a living or not be comics anymore. You know.
Oh, no. Did you think I was saying that everybody had to have a rich brother? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're saying to me? That everybody has to find a rich brother and they can't go out?
No, I'm just saying that there is a reason for some people.
But not for... Okay, here's what I'm saying. That's true. It is true. But not all comics are 65.
No, and others make more money than you on the road.
I don't know which insult is worse. The fact that I don't...
Just saying that.
Which is
You're
worse?
right. You're right that going out for $2,000 is a little bit different than going out for 10.
Right. But I think we're making the exact same point. I can't make 10 grand going out.
No, I totally get it. I can't either.
Yeah.
For the record.
Right. For the record.
This wasn't me
But
lording
also-
something over you, just so people know.
You wouldn't want to bring, well, my wife has asthma, so,
Yeah.
I know I don't want her to get it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to have a discussion with you about the golden years of my life. I think this is depressing to you because you're next. No.
I think I'm a pioneer in getting the fuck off the road. I got off the road the first time when I was 20.
That's true. This is killing me, you said. It's killing me.
I really did feel that way in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's killing me. Here's the point that I'm making. It doesn't make any sense if someone is like we know that Bob Saget is dead, right?
All right.
And we know Bob Saget had COVID.
I'm not buying into that little conspiracy theory.
I thought he did have COVID. The point is, and sometimes you have to take the signs. Oh, a guy your age died in Florida. It's like, and he's making big money. I'm not saying you shouldn't have gone to Florida. I love Bob Saget. I'm just saying that it's different than it was 10 years ago. Oh, I don't want to know if I want to go on the road because I don't like the hotel rooms. This is like, I don't know if I want to go on the road because I'm 65 years old and could be in a home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think, there's something to be said for once you're afraid to be at a gig, it might be time to not go there.
No, but don't forget though. Let's look over. I don't want to get into an argument because I think we could get an argument. But don't forget that back at the beginning, I remember you saying, "What's your reasoning for not going out now?" Then you changed your mind. You thought the pandemic. So you don't think the pandemic is over?
I am not arguing with you at all about how you should feel, Andy.
No. But I'm saying, I think you're arguing a little bit that it's unrealistic.
What is?
How I'm feeling.
No, I don't at all.
Oh, well then how can I get an argument going?
You're not going to find it with me on this. All I'm saying is if that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
I thought you were saying maybe that I'm not thinking about these comics who have to make a living. Maybe that's what I thought you were saying.
Well, that's where I was at the beginning. I'm just saying.
Right, but now you see that
what your
I'm an old
position
man.
was. When I was feeling more like you were saying, why would anyone do it?
That's true.
Yeah.
That does come off like what is it? White privilege? What are you people working for? Like that, right?
But
what are you doing here? Why are you working at a store? Your brother does not. That type of thing.
As we know, none of those gigs on the road do anything for your career.
Well, that's the point too. It's like
if you don't need the money, then there's no other benefit to them.
Well, I did need the money until it looks like I'm one of these people who's going to be living on a fixed income.
Yeah, well, that's what people work for.
Yeah, I'm very happy about it, but I do think it's going to be one of these things where had this not happened, I still would have, I think at this age, thought a little bit about it. It's like, I don't feel any different age-wise than when I was a kid.
Right.
But that's, I know, wrong. I mean, that's an illusion. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's just, yes. I mean, the voice in your head has been the same person the whole time. So it's easy.
That was my point.
So it's easier to not feel older.
Yeah, it was my deep
way.
philosophical point. No, but I don't feel I feel like I was sicker when I was a kid than I am now.
Well, that's good.
But that's because I think there's like a 2 or 3 year window when things are good. You don't if you get cancer, it grows slowly. And then 70, Zazingo falls off a cliff.
Maybe. I mean, there's eventually a cliff, but the cliff comes at different ages for everybody.
I don't want there to be a cliff because I still say, no. My point is, I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to wake up when I'm 80 and go, that's it. I'm 80 now. It's just a waiting game.
Well, get a hobby, my friend.
I don't think I need to do it at 80. I think if I'm 90, like my Aunt Addie was 101 and she was saying, I'm tired of living. Let me die already. I want to get to that point.
And there was people going, who's stopping you?
We loved our Aunt Addie. Actually, she was like one of the people, she was one of the, anybody in the family who was generally in a good mood was a hero.
Right.
To us. Yeah. So the thing is, it's really kind of a thing like, I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, I am really thinking about taking a car out and driving because the thing I don't like is going on planes right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's all ridiculous. It's not ridiculous. It's all weird. Everything's weird because like sometimes I think, I can't believe was last year the year. I mean, it's now 2 years because it's 22 now. So it's 2 years since my mom and sister died and Susan's mom died in February. But it seems like a year ago. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I know you have the same feeling about time.
Well, certainly these past 2 years haven't exactly had a lot to stand out to demark passage.
Well, how about the fact that our podcast is going, Susan says to me, how's the podcast going? Very nicely. We're enjoying ourselves.
I hear we're getting Neil Young's spot on Spotify.
I like the way does Spotify even have a public relations unit? They don't seem to say, I don't hear them go, look, we like Neil Young, but they just go, okay, you're out, Neil Young. I mean, how come nobody's from their company saying something about we either are going to allow these people to come on our platform and lie about vaccines? What are they, you think they're going to ignore it forever?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think something's got to give with it.
Well, I never for a second thought that they were going to go, oh, well, we should get rid of Joe Rogan then, Neil Young.
No, but even Twitter, now I think about it, there were people like Kamala Harris who were saying, let's get these people should have been off Twitter years ago. Trump should have been off Twitter years ago. Because why should he get to amplify that message? And it was so amplified. And so I'm really kind of like, I don't know how I feel, but I'm getting to this thing where like, if you have a platform, you have to be responsible. I don't even know who Spotify is really. Like,
well, the law has to change then.
How do you mean?
I mean, right now the law makes it so that the platform is not liable.
Right. But not liable in what way?
I mean, if Twitter isn't responsible for someone's irresponsible tweet legally.
I see what you're saying. But the decision to take them off.
It is only public relations that forces them to police their site. Really, there isn't a legal responsibility. And I think at some point there will be, and to some extent they play both sides of the fence of wanting it and not wanting it. These companies. Right.
Well, I mean, I don't really know what the solution is because it's horrible. But I mean, Facebook to me is not even to Twitter. I think makes the argument that they want to be more progressive in clamping down.
Yeah.
But Facebook is just, we're going to make the money on lies and misinformation. They don't care. They want you to be misinformed.
They want you to be angry.
Right. And, I don't know if the Twitter algorithms are the same, but they're perfectly happy. There.
Well, the Twitter algorithms seem different to me just because you can control what you see to a large extent on Twitter.
True. And so I don't know why I sound weird now.
You know what it is?
What is it? Time for questions?
It is.
All right.
It's time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show.
Pickle says, would you go on The Masked Singer? Well, I would do probably. There's not a lot of things I wouldn't do. I don't believe in the Masked Singer. I wouldn't go on as the Masked Singer.
You didn't believe on Last Comic Standing either, and yet,
Right.
boom.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't make the argument. Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
because I've already been in a position where I've done things I said I wouldn't do, but I didn't want to do.
I would go on Masked Singer, but people would be enraged that I was unguessable.
Oh, are they saying as the singer?
I would assume so.
Oh, I thought they mean like, are you going to be like Ken Young, or something like that? I thought people were offering me the gig as a judge. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, so I will go on. Absolutely. As a Masked Singer, because it's the only way I feel comfortable. No, the answer is no. No, the answer is yes. I guess if they booked me, what the fuck am I? It's paid money, right?
All right.
All right, I'll do it.
And you don't have to travel.
I'll do it.
And you literally have to wear a mask.
I'll do it.
Mississippi Don says, I achieved a spiral first by having my resume read on the show, letting you know it worked. Didn't we read this already? We made it to Athens, Georgia, just a smaller, slightly more backward Austin. We're now the obnoxious Jew Texans in the hood. I'll say hi to Michael Stipe for you.
No, we didn't read this before.
Okay.
And then there's an add-on.
Like you're the guy to ask.
And we had a baby named after Andy.
Right.
You go ahead and read that for them.
Was there more?
Oh, yeah. T-Con broken penis.
Okay.
Redacted.
And we had it.
T-Con?
And T-Con, I think. Broken penis. It's just, I'm reading it as a Hebrew thing.
Oh, okay. All right. You threw me off by saying that we may have done it before. So then I was like,
I don't know. For some reason, it felt like a deja vu.
Well, we'll have to look into that.
Well, congratulations, Mississippi Don, on being Georgia Don now.
I think so. I like Athens, Georgia. And actually, it's a good time to go there because everybody's high off of the Bulldogs. They won the national championship.
Right.
So that was the time to be in town when the good feelings are going around.
Way to connect the sports dots.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very proud of myself. Mike Parrish, I like when in the books they go, Mike Parrish chortles. When I was in high school, my dad would pack my lunch every day and write a cowboy-themed note on a napkin, which would say something like, "Don't squat with your spurs on." He would always sign it as Buck Billy. Oh, my God. Did your fathers ever embarrass you as teens, and how? Well, they did, but my father wouldn't have known how to be Buck Billy.
All right. He didn't embarrass us with love like your dad.
That's all it brings up to the fact that my mom would not make lunch for me. Yeah. So I had to eat the food. I was one of the few kids in the 5th grade or whatever, still eating the goddamn hot lunch.
Yeah.
So I think what you say is right. Thank God he had a dad who really did love him.
Yeah, my dad was not that embarrassing, really. He was, he thought it was funny to threaten to embarrass us, but he didn't actually do such things. Yeah.
My dad was really, really great. He's my hero, except a couple of times when he went off on me.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I'm kidding. But I'm not sure about what. Who's next? I think you're next.
I think it's me. A.D. Morgan says Harry Houdini had a dog that had its own little handcuffs and a dog-sized straitjacket and was an accomplished escape artist. Can a dog be an artist? Conversely, can a dog not be an artist? You'll have to ask Gregory Peck what his name was. I have no idea what his name was.
Why are you so upset about it?
Insolent little Jew dog. I don't know what his name was.
Well, don't be upset. I mean, you're sounding more and more anti-Semitic.
I will not be thwarted by some insolent Jew.
You really hop into that part with gusto. He did not have a dog. I don't even believe you, A.D. Morgan. Why do I even go along with I doubt this happened?
He tagged it with, "This is my attempt at one of the formulaic tweets. I just hope nobody gets hurt when it goes on."
A.D. Morgan is very funny, and I don't think anyone can deny it.
I don't think anyone here will try.
Jason, but wait, there's more.
Parton.
Barton. Why can't I say that right? You get it right. Oh, you know what? Because I have to go to a different page to say Parton.
Ah, because you're on your little phone.
Yeah, because I don't have Twitter on my thing. Jason. Jason, but wait, there's more. Parton asks. Now that all three of us has been on the wheel of brandy in one fashion or another, it makes me wonder, they'll love us, won't they? They feed us, don't they? Who could think a boy and bear could be well respected everywhere? It's just amazing how fair people can be. I love that song, and thank you for referencing it.
Sethdick III says, I'm watching Aristocrats, and substance aside, the cuts from angle to angle are making me sick. Every quarter second, there's a cut. Josh, you do this. Am I wrong? I don't remember that movie all that well in terms of like what it looked like, but yeah, my suspicion is that they were trying to. I mean, usually in a doc when there's a cut, it's because you're cutting out dialogue and you need to cover that cut by switching to another camera. So I assume what they were trying to do is take out trying to keep a comic rhythm to everything by doing that.
Can I give you a little inside story on that I actually have inside information?
Sure.
Okay. A family friend of ours used to work with Think Films.
Yeah.
And they are the ones who bought the Aristocrats. And then it became like a little minor hit or whatever. He said it was the worst footage that they've ever seen, probably, that they tried to make a movie out of. So they had to do stuff to it. Now, I don't know what they did to it that would affect like angles to angles, but it definitely was, it was said by the people who bought it that it was shot horribly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm part of the, I'm part of it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'm almost like a company town guy.
You are an insider's insider.
Yeah. And articulate. What's the word? I'm articulate. What's the word? Come on. Not bad, right?
That's funny, yeah.
Desperate. How desperate. Josh, tell me I'm fine. Rub my head and tell me I'm funny. Stephen Elton Yates. He inquires, Andy, I love your album, hence the humor. Do you remember how much, if any of it, was improvised? Jelvis. Same question. Chunks, which I also love. Thank you for this podcast. I thank you for the question. And I did a lot of ad-libbing on it, but not necessarily as much as you may think, because I did a lot of just going from whatever bit to whatever bit in my head. So it happened to be one of those things where I was able to pull bits and it seemed like they were occurring to me.
Yeah, in my case, there was very little improvised there. I mean, there was moments where someone in the audience said something and I responded to that. But if anything, there was improvisation in my setups more than my punchlines. Because sometimes if I'm doing a story-ish kind of thing, I'll just sort of speak it rather than have it scripted. But I know where I'm headed.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a regular set there'd be more, but this was for the album. So,
and in my case, I was really most of my ad-libbing was yelling at AST Records, or, yelling at people there, pretending to be upset, that type of thing, which you don't do as much of.
Right.
Is it you?
Dan Wade says, were you aware that Foster Brooks was a big Wordle fan? Although he sure struggled the other day when the word was schwa, 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 schwa.
I am going to bet that you do know what Wordle is and you've tried it maybe once.
I have tried it for the last 20 days.
So it's fun.
Well, it's I mean, I like little words, I do the New York Times crossword and the spelling bee each day too. So it's just a little part of my little, wake up, my brain ritual.
And I want to tell you that it was something that kept my father going till his, through his 80s. It definitely helps. It kept he going where he would ask me questions and he wouldn't see me looking on the internet.
Yeah.
That's, what's amazing about you is that not that you're private, but if I was doing the crosswords, I would have probably talked about it every show so far. Yeah. I did a crosswords. Don't you want to know how good I am at it? Pretty good. Did you really? I want you to enjoy this article in the New Yorker about a woman who does it's a personal history about a woman who now does a lot of there aren't as many women in the field.
In which field?
The crosswords field. She actually she actually comes up with crossword puzzles.
Okay.
Not only am I not articulate when describing something, I can't even describe the thing that it was an article in the New Yorker about, she kind of was an assistant to Will Shortz and it was all about crossword puzzles, but I can't remember one interesting thing from it now when I was reading it, I was chock full of.
Did she imply that Will Shortz was the source of this glass ceiling?
No, it's interesting because she actually got along. No, she had a lot of respect for him.
Oh, that's good.
Because I don't think. Wait a second now. I think I'm actually mixing things up. I think women were the first people to do crosswords.
I believe it was a woman who invented the crossword.
Right. They invented it, which she describes, but she says there are not as many of them do the puzzles. I mean, of course, what you're talking about, the glass ceiling situation.
Wow.
But I wish I could think of this one word that she convinced Will Shortz to change the definition of, because it was so funny. And it was a word that was like a more modern word, and he wanted to use it as a more...
It would totally save the story if you could.
Yeah. Like, in other words, think about another part of our podcast, some other time in the past, where I came in with information.
Right.
Maybe I had a funny line. Like that.
Okay. And should I edit that in at this point?
Well, only if I come up with it within a reasonable amount of time.
All right.
Why do is it Dan Wade now? Who is it now?
I think Stephen L. Yates is back in my...
All right. For me?
Sure.
Oh, it's not TV. It's Q Sting. What is the Sting that he's referring to?
Oh, it's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me. It's not TV. Not TV.
It's those commercials that get me. Ow! I don't do a bad voice like that. Ow! Ah! Get back! Ow! Good God, y'all! Ooh! Please rank these 3 jingles: satellite repair,
Safe light
replace,
safe light repair, safe light replace.
Oh, it's just satellite repair.
he got auto corrected.
Oh, safe light repair, safe light replace, liberty, 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 liberty. He signed me too. You can go first, or I can go first. You go first.
I'm gonna go. He saw me too is number 1. Safe light repair, safe light replace is number 2, and liberty, 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 liberty is number 3.
I agree with you in this exact way. He saw me too is the best song, clearly.
Sure.
The safe light repair, I hate it. I hate everything about that company. I hate their songs, but it's not as bad as Liberty, 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 because maybe Safe Light Replace is actually an okay company, whereas Liberty, Liberty, Liberty cannot be a good company. Because they got Emu the Emo.
Right. You
can't have Emu the Limo and not be a horrible company.
I think you're right.
That's all I'll say about it.
I don't have a counterpoint to that. Tweet Bahara.
Tweet, Bahara, hara. Ooh, hara. He's a real hara.
Hey, Andy. Last show you used the phrase dropping your ordnance. Is that a secret way of making a poop reference? That's the way to endear yourself, tweet with Andy.
I think he's trying, you know what he's trying to do here? He's trying to get me. He knows it bothers me.
Yes.
The poop reference.
But it got you he actually sent you into a little fit of poop.
Yeah, I actually got
paralysis there.
Yeah, it worked. His game worked.
Yeah.
I feel worse now. I feel like we're talking about poop on the show.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not. We're just reading a question.
Tweets back
Yeah.
to drop another load.
What are you now judging the quality of it? That's
No,
mean.
I was just making another poop reference.
Oh, I see. Well, that's not. It's still an insult.
Tweet Bar is here to deregulate some cable, if you know what I mean. Did you ever hear the follow-up to A Boy Named Sue? It was called A Boy Named Settle Out of Court.
I don't even, is this I don't know, what would the court case be?
No, you don't understand. Go back to the first one.
Okay. Did you ever hear the follow-up to A Boy Named Sue? It was called A Boy Named Settle Out of Court.
Okay.
I don't get it.
All right. Do you know what how sue is also a verb?
That's very good. That's good. Oh, God. I don't think if I live to 90, I'll normally get those jokes, even when I'm listening.
Wow.
That's an interesting thing because you would think me being the greatest living stand-up comedian that I would get all the jokes.
That's why
right?
I'm a little taken aback by that one. Yeah. For that exact reason.
Because it is in my style a little bit, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Tweet Bar will be very surprised you didn't understand at all.
Well, when you brought my attention to the verb,
Yeah. No, I know.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you though, in my own defense, which there isn't much of a defense,
Uh-huh.
but in my own defense, my mind started to go to that the guy was suing because he was named Sue. I'm going to kick that he says, I'm going to kick that asshole who named me Sue.
All right.
So I thought it was like, related to that. There's no excuse, but that's what I was doing.
Right. But it does explain why you don't do crosswords.
That's true. My dad was very good at them, and I'm not good at them. I don't like games at all. I don't like you don't like puzzles, right? Like actual puzzles.
I just said I did.
No, like a physical puzzle.
Oh, jigsaw puzzles? No.
Yeah. Right. I'm not that out of it. I did hear you say you enjoy it. Although I don't know what the second one was. The second one that you said, I never it was Wordle and it was spelling bee.
Yes.
What is that?
That's a New York Times word compilation game, essentially.
And where did Wordle come from?
Wordle came from someone whose name is similar to that made it for their partner just for fun, and then it caught on.
But it's going to be like Candy Crush or something. We won't know what it is. We won't remember it a year from now, and we won't care about it.
Maybe.
All right, but why do I have to go so negatively?
I'm hoping people will stop posting their little scores.
What? Okay, when they're posting it, what does that mean? What are they showing off? Yeah. I don't even understand the scoring, really.
You get 6 guesses, and it's showing you how many guesses they got it in.
Oh. You're supposed to guess the word, right?
Yes.
And the guy's name was Schmurtle?
Something
Bobby
like that.
Smurtle?
It's a Spurtle, Myrtle.
I love that commercial. No, yeah. Don't Call Me Boopsie says, 2 weeks ago, I was mocked for saying Question Day was Wednesday.
2 weeks ago, I was mocked for saying Question Day was Wednesday.
Last week, I missed it because Question Day was back to Wednesday.
Last week, I missed it because Question Day was back to Wednesday.
I feel like I'm being pranked. Are you pranking me?
Are you pranking me?
Please don't prank me.
Please don't prank me.
I don't like being pranked.
I don't like being pranked.
Well, who is mocking Boopsie?
I did that.
Oh, sorry.
It's hard once you get into the mock tone.
Yeah.
It's like mock turtle soup. Once you try it, you don't go back.
That's right. Huh?
Oh.
Mark McDonald says they're not dress pants, they're yoga pants thing cropped up in listening to your back catalog. And I wonder, is it harder to say it in an Australian accent because they would say trousers? Trousers.
Trousers.
I honestly don't know if they're like the UK.
Oh, if they say trousers like the UK.
They look like dress trousers, but they're not. They're yoga trousers.
I don't know. It's a tough thing between that. And do you want to do the add-on?
And he added on, I came up with a goofy Australian accent exercise. Say, hi, Malign. Then say, what's my favorite Macaulay Culkin film? Hi, Malign. Good day, mates.
That was good. Oh, that was good. You win, Mark McDonald. Send them a Zazzle. Send them something from Zazzle. Gomar Comer. How would you say it?
Gomar Comer.
Gomar Comer says, gents, let's talk tacos. Where do you stand on corn versus flour tortillas? Any traditional styles you gravitate to? I'm usually an al pastor guy, but lately I've been loving queso birria with consomme for dipping. Lastly, which LA taco spots must I try on my next visit? Well, I toured briefly as Al Pastor.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. Right before you went out as Bert Rito.
I go with corn only because Susan is gluten-free, so I try to be gluten-free when she's gluten-free.
Yeah. And
I actually have come to like the taste of the corn tortillas. It's very hard to recommend places in LA because my wife's, where she lives, is like more traditional, and so San Diego, I think, actually has better tacos than LA, but not as good as El Centro, where she's from. So I would like to hear from you. What would be a good taco spot, Josh?
I'm completely the wrong dude to ask because I hate cilantro. So any kind of true taco, any kind of true traditional taco generally comes with a bunch of fresh cilantro on it. So that kind of takes me out of the game. I also don't like flour. I don't like corn tortillas. I mean, I like a good like gringo taco. I like the corn fried hard shell, you know. Mm-hmm. And I really like those, but I know they're not, there's nothing authentic about them.
Right.
But I like flour tortillas quite a bit.
Most people do, and most people say it's much better tasting, and I think you're right. There used to be a place, El Serenado de Garibaldi, had a couple of different locations. I don't know if they still do, but their corn tortillas in West LA were unbelievable.
One of the most famous places in LA is Tito's Tacos.
And it's bad.
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Just garbage as far as I was concerned.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
No, that's quite all right. I know I've talked about it before even. So.
Yeah, and also I used to have a friend arguing with my friend Bill Kaufman, who you know. Do you know Bill Kaufman?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah, he's always would argue how great Tito's was. It's great.
Yeah, he's just wrong.
Even the song isn't the best taco song. All right. Is it me now? No, it's you.
That's, okay. John Dunbar says, I thoroughly enjoyed Andy's appearance on the always enjoyable Wheel of Randy podcast, but I was astonished to discover his complete ignorance of an album I consider a classic, Nielsen Sings Newman. Has he heard it yet? What's Josh's take on the album?
Well, I love Nielsen. Yeah. I just don't know it. I don't know as much about Nielsen when I was growing up. I mean, now I know about him, but I wasn't like a Nielsen, I just didn't know that much, but I would love to hear the album.
I don't love it just for a couple of reasons. One, because it was like 1970 or 71. So it wasn't, that much of Randy Newman's catalog that I loved. Mm-hmm. And so I don't remember I remember he did a good version of Dayton, Ohio, 1903.
Is that from Good Old Boys?
I think it was on Sail Away.
Oh, okay. Sail Away or earlier than Good Old Boys?
Yes.
Okay. That makes sense then.
The other thing that was kind of frustrating about it is that it's Randy Newman playing piano with Nielsen singing. So it just feels unsatisfying to me. Because I want Randy to be singing with his piano. The arrangements are so similar to what Randy would do that it just feels like there's a frustration to it almost, even though Nielsen has a great voice.
Yeah, he does have a great. He sings does he sing Everybody's Talking At Me?
Yes.
Yeah. The way you just described it as Randy playing and him singing does sound weird to me.
Yeah, and I remember saying I didn't know about the album until like 3 or 4 years ago when I started doing that Nielsen tribute show every year at Molly Malone's. So I dug a little bit, but I saw Randy sang something something about like Nielsen's did virtuosoistic things with his voice that I couldn't do, like hold a note.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking back when I read that, I remember thinking, he really doesn't ever hold a note.
Yeah. That's funny because it's like it's an interesting thing. But the thing about, I was going to say about Nielsen, went out of my head. Sorry. I was a little surprised that the guy said that he's surprised that I hadn't heard of it because I didn't think it's not like Super Sessions, right?
Right.
Or
I don't think it's it's not an all-time classic as far as I'm aware.
I just got scared that you didn't know what Super Sessions were.
No, oh God, do I?
Yeah, so I would say you get 100 points for making me feel less than. You know what I mean? Like I missed something.
Right.
But John and I will listen to it. And I don't always have the exact same opinions that Josh has.
No, you might be elevated by the whole thing.
Dan Marsh wants us to say, or wants to know, or says, hey guys, 3 food questions. What is your favorite seafood? What is your favorite sour food? What is the weirdest food you like? Excellent question, Dad. I like it. I don't have the answer yet, but excellent.
Probably my very favorite seafood is crab. My favorite sour food, I'm not sure. Hot and sour soup, perhaps. I don't know. And weirdest food, I don't have an answer for.
Yeah, because we don't. I don't see. Well, my favorite seafood food is probably. Is it weird to say sushi because it's the preparation of it that I love?
No. I mean, it's a little vague.
It's a little vague, and so I would say either tuna from the sushi or crab. Crab probably more than lobster, even though I think it's going to be lobster. Crab, I think, lasts longer.
I like crab. I like crab more than lobster.
Yeah, I think I can see that. Hot and sour soup would be the only sour thing I've ever eaten, unless you're talking about gummies and things.
Lemon meringue pie, you like some, but you like the meringue. You like the meringue more than the lemon. I've heard.
Yes. What is the weirdest food you like? I don't know. I don't like any weird food. I just eat pretzels, and then I have to stuff. I'm addicted to pretzels, which I'm.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I guess so. But wouldn't it be weirder if they were made out of marshmallows with chicken on them?
It would. It's true. Julian Valentich says David Ortiz of my Big Papi. That's what I like to call him, Big Papi. David Ortiz of my beloved Boston Red Sox was selected to the Hall of Fame, and less than 24 hours later, Breyer announces his retirement, raising the obvious question: what past or present baseball player is the best fit for the Supreme Court, and why? Wow. I'd also like to say that David Ortiz was a Minnesota Twin before he was a Boston Red Sox.
I would say, that's how I mean, no one's going to question you. But I would say that, Satchel Paige, because Satchel Paige, in addition to giving, his opinions, would be able to throw in a couple of those sayings. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Don't turn around because someone's gaining on you. So he'd have like a folksy thing.
All right. And for that same reason, I'm going to nominate Yogi Berra.
Because it does, his things that he said were for funny. They're also true.
That's right.
It's a popular, it makes sense.
I won't overturn the decision, but I'd like a turnover. Something like that.
Well, I also like when he goes, the place is so popular, nobody goes there anymore.
All right.
God, I made it worse.
Greg Kelly says, if you go to your first rodeo and go back the next day, is it still your first? It's a good question. It really is.
It's an interesting question, and it's been, it was settled by the Guinness Book of Rodeo. No, I think it's,
I still think I would be inclined to say that it is, a rodeo does not end. It's like a cricket match.
Right.
Oh, rodeo is a week-long thing. So yes, it's still your first rodeo. Good. It's your second visit to your first rodeo.
And I think we've established this beyond a reasonable doubt.
I think so too.
Chris Z
certainly
says
the reasonable part.
Right. Right. Friends, as I retold an Andy joke about the Titanic, that bond with my spouse. I thought, could Andy and Josh talk about their spouse's sense of humor and how they overlap, relate to their own? I'm interested in that story to the extent you might want to share. Thanks. My wife and I share a very, very similar sense of humor. So we overlap a lot, but she gets tired of me trying to turn her into Bud Abbott.
Trying to what?
Turn her into Bud Abbott or, involve her in a bit.
Right.
But she's very funny and she has a great sense of humor.
She does, yes. And her intolerance of yours speaks well of her.
That's what's the best part of it.
No, Allison is super funny. And almost, I would say self-centeredly just as important as she thinks I'm funny and gets my jokes for the most part and understands that jokes are always going to be a part of my processing things. So I never get the, will you stop joking? Will you, this isn't the time, I don't get that. I don't get scolded for being inappropriate for making a joke about something serious or dark.
Right. And Susan and probably Allison too will make their own inappropriate remarks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, and I'm here to be a safe space for that. So.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, the darkness overlap is an important component.
Yeah, it has to be. You can't be with someone. It's a weird thing because you don't, when you start dating, rate their jokes, but you rate whether you are two on the same wavelength.
Right. But, in like in our daily life, there's probably, 40 jokes that get flown about, just casual, very, just in the course of doing business.
Yeah.
It's not like we sit back and go, wasn't it great when you said that? But it's just part of our intercourse, so to speak.
Easy. Jesus Christ. Sorry.
So if we were on different wavelengths in that regard, that would have meant 40 hitches in the course of our day,
Right. Yeah.
Wow, we found a really unfunny way to talk about our funniness.
But you know what? People like our sincerity.
Okay.
I think you do rookie. The way you say rookie.
I'll introduce it, but you read the question.
Okay.
Rookie Carroca says,
a few weeks ago, Andy mentioned something about his childhood and a horse in Queens, and I thought, well, that sounds like the title for the sequel for The Fiddling Horse. How's the treatment coming along, fellas? We cannot talk about this.
That's right.
But there are some very exciting things happening in the Fiddling Horse. I don't want to jinx it.
All right.
It's over, folks. The dream is over.
That's right.
I was the dream weaver, but now I'm reborn. I was the walrus, but now I'm John. And so, dear friends,
I am the walrus, Juju.
Cubach says, a suggestion on how to fix the controversial NFL overtime rules. First, you have the coin toss as normal. The winner gets the ball first, and then you boot Novak Djokovic out of the Australian Open. It works for me. Thoughts? Well, I like that joke, but I also don't like the rules now, and I'm not sure the way to. They have to have each team get a shot. You can't just say if the first team does really well, they win.
Well, that's what it used to be.
I know. That's true. It used to be sudden death.
Right.
The coin toss would decide it.
Right.
I can tell you don't care enough about it.
I don't think it's a terrible system what they have now, where each team has to, if you don't score a touchdown, each team gets a possession.
Oh, that's definitely better than the sudden death.
Yeah.
It's the coin toss that's getting everybody upset.
Well, but the coin toss starts the game too.
Right, but even with the coin toss that starts the game, it switches around for the second half, so nobody loses from that necessarily.
Right. Well, that's why they changed it to give both teams a chance, though. But if your defense gives up a touchdown on the one drive.
That's the argument, but you knew that game. You knew that both those, if Buffalo had gone down 7 more times, they would have scored a touchdown. It was like, that game was not fair because they were both, not that it wasn't fair, but just made it almost like, I know what you're saying. The defense should come up big sometimes.
Yeah.
But what if your offense is better than your defense?
Well, then you're not a complete team who's suited for overtime, and you should have run up the score.
Good point. Good point. I never think of it that way. Chaotic neutral?
Sure.
Is that what you got?
Follow up on last week's question about Sinbad and his reputation among comics. How much do your feelings about a person inform your opinion on their comedy? I.e., are there comics you like but don't find funny? I ask because I hear Sandler is a genuinely nice guy.
Let me tell you this, that I can tell you this without fear of reprisal or fear of suing. Adam Sandler is not a genuinely nice guy. He's kind of an asshole. Thank you.
But he said he wasn't going to punch you.
Yeah, though that part was nice.
Going back to the first part of the question, though, as a younger man, I did equate people's acts with their quality as a human being.
The problem is when you're with somebody that you respect as a person,
But not as a comic.
But not as a comic, you want to sometimes say something, but that doesn't help anyway.
Yeah.
But absolutely, you can separate the two. You know, I was going to make a nasty comment, but I didn't. All right, and I really don't know. I think I knew who it was about. All right, I think you could probably guess what I was going to say, but maybe not. Jompy Bean wants to know what's Bank Dick. He's talking about W.C. Fields.
Yeah, it's a W.C. Fields movie called The Bank Dick.
Yeah, it's
and
about.
It's very funny.
It's really good. I don't like the anti-Semitic lines as much as I did when I was younger.
Right.
Because what does he say? He goes, get out of my face, Bill, you stupid Jew.
I don't think he says that, no.
You sure?
I don't think he does, no.
The problem is, yes, I'm drunk, but tomorrow I'll wake up, I'll be sober. You'll still be a dirty Jew.
From Philadelphia.
How's the global? How's that? Was it Edward G. Fields?
Yes. There's a great story in Rich Scheidner's play about W.C. Fields, and there was a group of temperance women who came to one of his shows in the early part of the century, and he was getting all sorts of heat for being sort of, pro liquor in his act. And so these women came to him and said, Mr. Fields, we're watching you. In fact, we've bought the first 2 rows of the theater. And if you say something offensive, we're all going to get up and walk out. And he goes, don't worry, ladies. I'll be on my best behavior. And he walks out with a newspaper, opens it up and says here there's a shortage of whores in Tijuana. And the women get up and leave. He's like, what's your hurry, ladies? There's another bus leaving in an hour.
So yeah, I may have even enjoyed. Wait, he was anti-Semitic, or is that just a rumor?
I haven't heard it as a defining character of him. And I would have, I think. But I mean, I have no doubt he was. Just because.
Well, the one that was supposed to be terrible was that Walter Brennan was like a racist, and that's what I hear, though. Maybe it's wrong.
Well, what's his name? Frank Fay was an actual Nazi. So.
He beats him then.
Yes.
Alpha Nerd, I'll do it. Who cares? You can't stop me. Isn't Foster Brooks' reason for not completing the word buffalo due to him being on the brink of barfing, so he gives up and notes a nearby city? My 1990 buddies and I were so certain of this, we referred to someone about to puke as being just outside of Rochester. I never took it that way. I took it as he's drunk and he's mixing up his language.
Yeah, it's more of a Porky Pig.
Yeah, I got you.
Than it is. It's more of a stutter sort of a joke than I'm about to puke, because he does it with, he always just sort of picks a word to stumble on. But I could see, especially as a young drinker, how that would be a fun.
Just outside of Rochester.
It works on a lot of levels.
It really does.
Yeah.
I don't want to dissuade you because it worked for you.
I don't want to dissuade him because every time I do, I throw out my back.
Ba-ba-ba-hmm.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-boo.
Eric wants to know, hey guys, your favorite Neil Young tune?
Oh, I know so many that are great.
I would go Comes a Time, Helpless.
Yeah.
Only Love Can Break Your Heart.
And I like Harvest too.
Yeah.
And then I like everything from After the Gold Rush. He's just a genius, and I love him.
Steve Wright says, just woke up from a very strange and vivid dream. Got me wondering, which camp do you guys fall in when it comes to hearing about weird dreams? Most boring thing ever, or up to hear the tale?
I always think it's going to be boring,
Yeah.
and I'm pleasantly surprised when it's not.
I am never excited to hear about someone's dream, ever.
Yeah.
It comes off a lot like preschool Shark Tank to me. And, but in the case of my wife, I will suffer through.
And Steve Wright also is going for 2 in hopes of some sweet, sweet spiral fame. This dream seems to be the result of day 4 of a tea break from the Devil's Lettuce. Josh, does this happen to you during a break? Andy, have you ever taken a break? Love you, gents. Is he talking about weed?
Yes. The Devil's Lettuce.
Oh.
Yes.
No, I never had dreams when I broke up. I just was depressed.
Yeah. No, I totally find that to be one of the side effects of non-weed is more vivid dreams.
Oh, wow.
And I've always sort of liked the dream deadening quality of marijuana.
Is that so? Is that kind of a known? Maybe that's like a known thing.
Well, it's known among users, I would think.
Yeah. Josh, I'm going to give you the honor of reading the last question. Although you may have a lot of emails, I think we've been on the phone for 3.5 hours.
I think
but whatever you want to do,
we're fine at the 3.5 hour mark.
Richard, go ahead, you do it because I appreciate the way you do it.
Oh, I just saw this comment from John Dunbar, who before I read it, because it's a compliment. He said, "You don't look newish, and I'm the opposite of a life coach." 2 of the greatest lines in the history of Thought Spiral. So,
oh, right.
And finally,
here's something.
Richard Cole wants to know: have you ever shopped at a farmer's market or bought produce from a fruit stand on the side of the road? Why, yes, I've done both.
Me too.
Yes.
And what do you think of the farmers markets? I kind of love, don't you? Not now with the COVID.
I love them, but not enough to inconvenience myself deeply.
And you're up at the hour where people go.
I'd rather just shop at an expensive grocery store that has good produce, but.
And fruit stands, but depends on what you mean by the side of the road. I've had amazing fruit like on the road, like driving up the Route 1. But if you mean like at a freeway ramp, I think I've bought fruit everywhere.
I've bought oranges at an off ramp before. I've bought cherries on the road. I've bought, yeah. No aversion to doing such a thing.
No. I do rinse everything off, though.
Yeah. I spit shine it.
No, that doesn't work, Josh. It looks nice, but yeah. It's not sanitary.
I like to shine a raspberry on my shirt after breathing it.
I like to shove it up my hoo-hoo and see if it clangs.
And speaking of shoving it up our hoo-hoo, if you'd like to support our show, go to buymeacoffee.com/thoughtspiral and proceed to support our show. We appreciate all of you who do and appreciate all of you who don't too, but less.
And I want to say that I'm not winding up. It's not a wind up.
It's not a wind up. Wow, because it sounds suspiciously like a wind up.
No, I don't do that anymore.
No.
I just hang up quick.
Yeah.
Which isn't that good either.
No, it's the podcast equivalent of pulling the Band-Aid.
Rub my head, tell me a funny